Hello, 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 hello.
Depression, dude. It's not good. No, I have to be serious when I do this one. All right, check it out.
Okay.
Depression, dude.
It's a serious thing.
Depression is a serious thing. Check it
Very
out.
serious.
Check me out.
Very serious. This is my serious face.
That's pretty serious.
That's pretty serious. Right?
You look more serious than I do, and I'm talking about it. All right.
You're just not feeling it. You gotta feel
Yeah,
it.
I gotta be in it. Listen,
Real bit.
I'm not depressed right
That's
now.
real shit. Real shit.
Depression's become a dirty word. A lot of people don't want to say it, don't want to talk about it. They don't want to, even when you bring it up in a normal conversation, it's not really like a topic you want to go into because it's a dark topic, right? Of course, we love humor on the podcast. We jump, what the fuck do you think I've been doing? Like a lot of the topics we've been talking about, especially lately, have been about how to get yourself out of certain things or certain ruts or try to get out of your head or try to make your life a little easier or better. And it's not because we don't know. By the way, just want to let you know this shit. It's not like we don't know what it's like. We know what it's like to be depressed.
That's why we made the podcast.
Yeah, we know what
That's
it's
why we
like.
started the channel.
Yeah,
It's
realistically,
because
yeah.
we had a comment. I had a comment earlier about about our different types of podcasts or whatever, and it was just like we're real.
Yeah.
We're being real about it.
We're being as real as we possibly can.
I'm not a psychologist.
No.
I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist. I don't even know.
But what we are is
real life
knowledgeable on
experience.
this. Yeah, that's what it
knowing
is.
about it.
It's experience. We've
Knowing
been through
people
it.
that have it, and being honest about it too, because I'm not trying to sell you
So
for you
bullshit.
to come
Yeah.
visit me and have a sit down.
No, I already know so by the way, just to let you know, I know who most of the people who are watching, and I know most of the people who are really
Hopefully
giving
you
us
don't know
support.
anybody that's watching, because we just got 1,000 new subscribers. That's
Wow.
the plan.
That's pretty good.
No, I'm just saying.
That's the plan.
but
Yeah, that's
I
true.
got you.
But overall, like, I know, and a lot of people don't like to pretend that their life is something that it's not, right?
Well, I think that's everybody. But go ahead.
Yeah, which is fine. But I'll tell you what one of my weapons is. So here's how I look at myself.
Go ahead.
I'm a warrior
Warrior.
that was already battle
Just
hardened
watch.
with
Show my son Sparta.
oh nice
Oh.
with
This is Sparta!
armor
Oh,
with
sorry.
a bunch of armor that's
of
gangster looking armor
Really?
that's
Just
got
imagine this.
scratches
Imagine this.
and
Scratches.
nicks and
Yeah.
dents and
Yeah,
all messed up
knives
because
and
I've been through
swords.
shit for so long, right? And the armor is going to protect me from a lot because of the shit that I've been through. But do I have the right weapons? Some people don't have the right weaponry in order to be able to
Gotta have the right
defend themselves or to fight the
It's like if Sparta was
the
just
war.
defending their area with shields.
Right.
They probably could do it though, because they were some bad.
They're badass motherfuckers.
But it'd be
with
tougher.
the spears and the swords and
Get them
stuff
to get
and the
stabbed.
arrows and stuff, that kind of helped them through that war.
Nice
So I look at myself that way. I've already my past and my pain and the things that I've been through
gotta
gave me the
use all
armor.
that. You use
But
all
the knowledge of what I know on how to defend myself against depression or against anxiety or against all these things that are super, super real, by the way.
I hate notifications.
Those
Go ahead.
things are defended by the weapons that I made through experience, through going through it, through figuring out how to get out of it, right? And there's a couple things that I wrote down also that I kind of wanted to talk to when it comes to it,
Journal,
because
yeah,
it doesn't
journal.
always just come from just being sad about something and you're not sure why, because there is some of that. Like some people know exactly why they're sad or upset or in a funk, and then some people don't know at all why they're even feeling that way, and they try to get themselves out of it, and it's very hard, and they get some people don't even want to get out the house, right? Especially recently with lockdown a couple years ago, and it's happening all over the world, and people are even more in their feelings and more in their emotions, so it's really hard to get out of it, and I understand that completely. But what people don't really talk about is when people are successful and still depressed. What people don't talk about is when people are actually like happy, or when they buy 1,000 things to fill the void of that depression. And once they fill the void of that depression, they think that depression's gone, or that sappy thought is gone, or that feeling of emptiness is gone. They're just trying to fill it. Well, that doesn't do it either. So even some of the most successful people I know, or some of the most people that are on the top of the list of like they've done it all, they're still
But you got examples
depressed.
of that everywhere.
Yeah.
You got examples, and I don't know if it's all depression, but it's like you're not happy,
Not happy,
right?
right?
You feel like your purpose is not met. You feel like you should be doing more, or you could
Or
be
you're
doing
still
more, or
lost.
you could be more, or you're missing out, or
Right.
something. And I think that all kind of like combines and makes you, into depression. I'm
Right.
not like I said, I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, so I don't know all the ins and outs of it. But I can see there's things that go on in my life that I can see, like if I just let them keep getting at me, that I could just say, I could just sit back and just be like, it's something I can't control. I can't, but I think that's when people lose the power. I think it's when you go into depression. When you lose the power that you have to be better, or to not be upset about a thing, or not worry about a thing, or not be stressed out about a thing, to where it gets you into that zone of, like, I think of depression as the way I think about it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that happen. Bad shit happen to everybody. Good shit happen to everybody. Some people have more bad shit than good shit. Right? Some people have more good shit than bad shit at certain times, at certain seasons, certain year.
Or even if you fail, like
your last year might have been better than somebody else's last year, right? Nobody in your family died from COVID. Somebody could have had 16 people died. Right? They could probably go to depression after that, or they could look at it, from a positive angle and keep moving forward and keep growing and keep becoming better. And you know what I mean? It could be something like that too. And I think it's all how you see life. Yeah. I think could end up that way, because life is, you only get one, and at the end of the day, you know what I mean? You could either live, positive and live happy and try to be excited about life and just waking up the next day, or you could just say, you're just a meatball running around on a rock planet that eventually the sun's going to burn out, you're going to die.
Right, and the thing is to give you weapons to defend it, and one of those weapons is, for one, not comparing yourself to anybody else that's around you. So the second that you
social media gets you to do that a lot.
Yeah.
But you got to understand,
that's kind of the world we live in, though.
You got to understand, though, the pictures you see, the things that you see aren't all the way real.
Like, they really did it, but that's not the full story.
Some of it is, and you don't see the background of what it took for them to get there.
Like when you
what
look
they
at
sacrificed.
Like whoever you look up to. Like, let's say you look up to an actress or an actor, and you see what their lives are, and you're like, oh my God, that's great. You don't really know them. You're acting like you know them, but you don't know who they are.
Nobody knew Heath Ledger.
No.
Except the people around Heath Ledger.
Super depressed.
And that shit ended up, you see how they ended up, and that's crazy.
It's terrible.
And
you would never think it.
You would think he's at the top.
Height of his career. At the height of his career.
And, R.I.P. to Heath Ledger, is a great actor, whatever.
100%.
Right? It's like,
or Robin Williams.
Nobody knows.
Robin Williams.
Yeah.
You look at in my opinion, one of the top, Mount Rushmore of comedians. One of the funniest people of all time. Great, phenomenal actor.
All sorts of movies that I watched as a kid. So
you wouldn't think he would be that. Right?
And it's like
Chester Bennington, R.I.P. Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. You would think that you can hear it in his music, but then you don't take it as seriously, because you see him in videos or interviews, and you think he's okay. He's talking about it. He's winning his war, and that's why I call this war, because that's how serious this is. It's a war sometimes for people, and it might be different for the two of us because we've dealt with it so much that we're able to get past it. And don't think that I think it's easy. We both know it's not easy, but don't give up. That's another thing too. Suicide, not an option. It's not an option. I've had several people in the past 8 to 10 years that have killed themselves because they didn't feel like they could win this fucking war. And I take that shit super seriously.
You just throwing in the towel. When there's so much more you could do in life. If they could only have known, if they could have predicted or seen the future, and they knew, I guarantee you, because I knew these people very well, and there's at least 4 to 5 people who I've lost so far over suicide. If they could know in a year from now, everything's going to be completely different and way better. It's like my shirt says, man. Life is not a sprint; it's a marathon.
100%.
So you might lose a sprint here and there. You might lose a lot of sprints. You might lose a bunch of races, right? You might feel like you behind and everything. Right. But at the end of the day, your marathon, you want to be. And I hate to use the word happy, because happy is like I don't want people to think like a fairy tale, but you just got to be satisfied with where your life's going, who you are, and you got to find that out so that you can move forward.
Right.
And that way you can make the right choices too.
Right.
But like I said, it doesn't matter, your financial status.
Sometimes when I look at my life, I go, if this is as good as it gets, am I happy here? If this is as good as it gets for the rest of my life, for the next 50 years, am I good? Yes. Sometimes, but there's also another controversial way to do it, which is never be satisfied. I'm always looking for more things in life to give me, and that's not just materialistic things, and it's not just for goals at work, right? Because just to let you know, work is not your life. I look at myself and I look at it all in 3 cups, like what I did to practice at being good at work, then actually doing the work, and then some people just always forget the person who's doing all of that research and trying to figure out how to be the best at their job. They forget about the person, you. You forget about you in that. You're so busy trying to climb that ladder or be the best thing you could be in that career. And maybe in our careers it's a little bit differently than yours. And you work at an office job where there's a lot of opportunity and you're bearing yourself into it because that's the only way you're going to get to the top. You can never you can never stop filling this cup.
You can do that.
You can't keep filling the cup of you. You're
do
filling
that.
up all the other. You could spread that.
But you gotta ask what's gonna happen when you get to the top.
Yeah. And
what's gonna be the difference?
Yeah.
Like if you're not happy now, is it just because you don't have the money?
No.
Or you don't have the success? If it is that, then go for it. But if you think that if you have $1 million today, right, and you think that that's gonna solve everything, then you got to look at, is that going to really solve anything? It's like the $1 million going to solve you being happy, you having friends, you being able to, with your family, you being able to do these different things.
Right.
Is it going to do that? And is the way you're going to create that? So you got to look at all that, because nothing's going to balance out where nobody's life is like perfect, right? So it's never, nobody's life is, they got this, they got that. I don't care who it is, whoever you show me online, and I see a lot of people, right? Some people just don't post a lot of bad shit, and I agree with that because I don't want to post bad shit either.
Be all negative.
Right? I don't want to post any negative shit. I don't want anybody to get that type of vibe, but I don't want to not post negative shit so that people get this vibe of like, somebody's life is perfect and why my life is not like that. I don't want to do it for that either.
Right.
I want to do it because I want to just push positive shit. I don't want to push negative shit. I don't want to push shit that's gonna make other people think about themselves or do other things like that. But it seems like when you push positive shit, people do that anyway. So it's like it's sometimes a lose either way.
Him and I have both lost a lot of people, and not just due to suicide, just due to
it's life.
Life, right? And when when you go to more funerals than birthdays, or more funerals than certain, you're like, what is life all about? So again, we've been through the shit. There's something. So again, if you listen this far, already at 11 minutes, and almost 12 minutes, and you're listening this long, I'm gonna give you a treat. There's something different. So if you go back into our podcast, and if you're really listening, we talked about worth before, right? And there's something. Worth isn't just worth of what other people think about you, and worth isn't just the worth of exterior things, right? Material or just in whatever you want to look at it, but exterior worth. There's an interior worth. I think I'm worth this much, period. No matter, regardless of what's going on in the world, I have an interior worth, and the interior worth is never connected to anything that can be taken away from me. I decide my worth. This is very important. This is a very important topic, and this is a good defense towards any of those types of things. My wife could take away what I think I'm worth. My job could take away. My friends can take away what I think that I'm worth. But I think that I'm worth something. It's interior worth is more important than any of the other exterior worth. I'm not allowing anybody to take it from me.
No, you can't let nobody determine your worth. We talked about this before.
Right, but
nobody's gonna determine my worth.
The way we explained, again, with words, sometimes people can let it pass. And if you've been listening this long, I know you're an avid listener, and you actually are paying attention to what we're saying. Yeah. This is what we're saying. There's an interior worth that I'm not allowing anybody to take that away from me. Exterior worth can be taken away. Interior cannot. So I just had to get that shit off my chest, bro. Depression is not a dirty word. Depression is not feeling anxiety, feeling like you want to give up, feeling like it's exterior, interior. But I'm feeling like you may or may not ever get out of something. And I was there just like a year and a half to 2 years ago. One of the reasons why we stopped the podcast. Some of those demons I was fighting, some of those things and insecurities and frustrations and things I never even got an opportunity to solve that I thought I already had under control, I didn't. So I had to take myself out, figure it out, and then come back in with a different mindset. And my life is 100 times better now than it was just a year and a half ago. And that was just by adjusting my thinking. Not what I was, some of the things that I was doing. Of course, action has a lot to do with this, but interior worth, understanding that. Instead of being lost and calling Moses and saying, well, what now, dude? What do I do now? Right? Which I literally did at one point just a little bit ago, a year and a half ago. Now I understand that wasn't even a necessary conversation because that wasn't him who's going to be able to answer it. I had to answer that question.
Yeah, you got to answer that.
So, just a gift to you if you listen this long, bro. I appreciate
subscribe, share, comment so you can hear more.
Yeah. Real talk with Lou and Mo.